Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Travel Time Stories. If this is your first time tuning in, I invite you to go back and check out my previous episodes. On this week's episode, we have a very special guest. She is my sister from another mister and the bright light in my life. Please welcome Kristen Woods.
Hello. So excited to be here.
And and we are excited that you're here. And I am your host, Shannon from Texas, and thank you for tuning in, everyone. So grab your favorite beverage, like we are, and let's get into it. Cheers, sister.
Here.
I am so excited that you're joining me tonight, Kristen, for the podcast. As you know, you and I have talked about doing a podcast many years ago. We never made it to fruition. But here I am. I am doing my own podcast, and now I get to have you as my special guest.
I'm so proud of you, Shannon. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. And yeah, we did not make that happen, but you did it anyway. And I'm so glad you did. So just glad to be a part.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually loving the journey of starting this podcast. I can't wait to see where it grows from here. I know that God had His blessing hand on this, and so I just want to see what He's going to do with it. I really love talking about travel, as you know.
Hmm.
And more importantly, I have wanted to tell my personal story for a long time, um, just to not only heal myself, but to hopefully offer some perspective and healing for others who may have experienced some of the similar things that I went through in my life. And so that's really very important to me and dear to my heart. I hope you're enjoying hearing my podcast.
Yeah, girl, yes. Like I have texted you, I've messaged you certain parts that were hilarious and just moving and touching. But the whole journey has been so good to just get to know a little bit about you, things that I didn't know about you. So it's just been really good to hear. Keep doing it.
I plan on it. So, for people who don't know us who are listening to the podcast, let's talk about how we met and our first impressions of each other.
Mhm.
Um, I'll start it off.
Okay.
We met because we actually worked at the same company many years ago. Um, well, I say many years ago. I've been with the company, still with the company, and been with them for 9 years now. You were with them for 5 or 6 years,
Six.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 6 years. So, and you've been away from them for a few years now. But that is how we first came to meet, was through working at the same company. And I will have to say, the first impression, the first time I saw you was the day that I came to interview at the company. And I was so nervous and so scared because I had no clue like about this company, like what it really was. Like I honestly thought it was fake. It was a fake. I
Hey,
honestly didn't know it was real.
and you still win. Like
But I
70.
still went to the interview.
I was like, I need this job, whatever it is.
I mean, I was like, well, if it is legit, then it's a great opportunity. And so I just figured I'll go and find out if it's legit or not and go from there. But yeah, I was so nervous when I got there the day for the interview. I had no clue what to expect, what was going on. And I was literally shaking in my boots. And when I rang the doorbell, you were the one that opened the door to let me in for my interview. And as soon as you opened the door and I saw you, like, I am not joking, my whole nerves just completely faded. And my spirit just recognized your spirit. And I was just immediately calmed. And I was like, oh my God, this person is going to be one of my people. I can tell, I can feel her spirit, and she's going to be one of my people. I mean, at that point, I didn't even know if I was getting the job, but I was like, this person's definitely going to be one of my people.
Whether I was gonna get fired that day, you don't get the job, we both just end up out of the side of the door, like on the other side.
Right, exactly. I just knew that no matter what happened from that point on, that God had touched me to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I knew that it was going to work out however it was supposed to work out, that we would know
Wow.
each other and go from there.
I did not know that. That is so, like, mind blown because I barely remember that day. I was just there opening the door and I knew there was an interview coming, but we had no idea. I just knew it was for my position that I was like handing over. And so I'm just like, yeah, hopefully they can hang on for the ride. 'Cause it's the ride. Hang on. And you're a strong woman, so it was like, yes, God, you picked the right. Obviously, you picked the perfect people for the jobs, but yeah, the rest is history.
Exactly.
Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing
and
that.
then and I didn't even know that I was interviewing for the position that you were leaving and promoting up from. I had no
Oh,
clue until I actually got hired and came back for, day one start. And then I'm like, you know, got told, okay, well, Kristen is, the person that's going
mhm.
to be training you. And then we find out we have to share that tiny office together. That was an experience, but we survived, girl. We made
Yeah, we did. I was like, well, set your computer down in front of mine, and we'll just keep sharing this desk for however long.
exactly. Yeah. So I mean, for me, it was a true blessing that you were there and that you were the person that, trained me. I don't think that I would be as good in my position as what I am today if it hadn't been for you and your training and your guidance because I was a hot mess and had no clue.
That's that you were the perfect person. You start off as a hot mess like the rest of us did. Had no idea what this job was about or this organization. And then you just, you learn as you go. But to God be the glory because I was barely had my footing in that position and really wasn't in it that long. You came along and we immediately clicked. So
Hmm.
we didn't even have to share an office, but once you got your own, because you did eventually get your own office, and it was the
Yep.
bigger office. Um, and once I kept coming to your office, you would come to my office. We just clicked and we've been friends and turned into sisters. I tell everybody, folks, like this is my emergency contact outside of my husband. If me and my husband are traveling, Shannon is my emergency contact. So she's my person. So no, I love you to pieces and I'm so glad that we're doing this journey together. So feeling mutual.
Exactly. Same here. And it's funny because people hear me talk about Anne all the time, obviously, because we travel together, personally travel together. You and I haven't had that opportunity yet to actually travel on a personal level together. We have done many, many trips,
Yes.
work related trips together. But we haven't gotten to travel together just personally. So in my podcast thus far, the only
Mhm.
person people have heard about is Anne because I'm talking about the trips that we have been on. But
Yeah.
trust me, I will get around to discussing work related trips and they will
Oh
hear a
boy.
lot more about you and those trips. Um, but like you say, we share a sisterhood and it's not just like people say, oh, yeah, she's my sister, or we have a sisterhood. We genuinely have a true sisterhood connection.
Mhm.
Like, I have your back no matter what. And I know you have my back no matter what. And there, between us, you have taught me so much. I know I've briefly told you about, I come from a family, and it's talked about on previous podcasts, very strict older. parentage, family, very racist
Mhm.
family. That's how I was raised in that type of environment. That's what I learned. And in being your friend and your sister, you have taught me so much of how and that's what has allowed me to change and see things so differently than how I was raised and how it was drilled into me to see
Yeah.
things. And I absolutely love that. I know that I can come to you and ask you anything, no matter what it is, and you give me honest feedback. You answer honestly, and we don't judge each other. We
Mhm.
don't have harsh feelings towards each other because we're asking a certain question or whatever. And I absolutely love that. And that's the one thing that makes our sisterhood unique. Like I consider your whole family my
Mhm.
family,
Same.
100%. Like your mom, I call her Mama Karen. Like
Mhm.
she's my mama too.
Yep.
And your husband is my brother-in-law, 100% my
Same.
brother-in-law. That's what I tell people. Like this is my sister and my
Mhm.
brother-in-law.
Mhm.
Like and my son
Mhm.
considers you
That
just like
listen,
an
I go,
auntie.
yes, that is,
And
yeah, I haven't called him nephew, but he is within my tribe. It's part of my tribe. So,
exactly, exactly. And I love that. And people don't understand, like, how can you have a sisterhood like that? Because you're white, she's black, like you come from two different totally
mhm,
backgrounds and
mhm,
whatnot. It don't matter.
mm-mm.
It don't matter. Like
Listen,
we're two people. We're two
right,
women, strong women.
very
And
strong.
and that's how we are connected is
I
through that
agree.
and through God.
Yeah, absolutely. I always, well, my grandparents used to say, yeah, we may have different tone and different background, but when you fall on the ground, you scrape your knee and it cuts to the white meat, is what they say. We all got
Mhm.
the same, it's the same underneath. So we bleed the same,
Exactly.
and so it's good to see like our relationship still strong and still growing. And we've gone through things, whether it's been work or personal, professional or personal,
Mhm.
we have gone through, and you have been one of those people where it's the same. People are like, you're different background, y'all are so close, or they don't realize that, like, yeah, she's my sister. And it's like, oh, and it's like, yeah, I know she's not black, but she's still my sister. And that's the family we choose. We choose our blood
Exactly.
family, but we get to choose our family that we want to genuinely have connections with.
My family that I have chosen means more to me than my blood related family, with the exception, I will say, of uh, some of my birth father's family that I
Yeah.
now have connection with that I never had connection with before. They are amazing.
Mhm.
But outside from that, the family I have chosen, which is you and Anne, y'all mean more to me than my blood relatives ever have.
Same. Love it. What you got for me? What are we doing today? Like, I am ready to get into it. Like you say, let's get into it. Grab your
That's right.
beverage and let's get into it.
Or Or let's take a nod to Sweet Magnolias. I don't know if you watched that on Netflix, Sweet Magnolias.
No,
Um, but their sisterhood, when they get together for their girls' night, they say, let's pour it out. And
I like it.
before they start dissing the tea and talking whatever they're going to talk about. So that's what I say. Let's pour it out.
Okay, we can do that. I'm here for it.
um, So, one thing is that I think also is unique about us is that I'm adopted, as people already know, and I was wanting to verify 100% who my biological father was
Mhm.
because I had a name. I kind of knew that he was supposed to be my biological father, but wasn't 100% certain. And like I wanted DNA proof that yes, he was my father so that I knew that the people I was trying to connect with were actually, my people. And I think I heard about you and your journey and
Mm-hmm.
wanting to find out for yourself who your biological father was and have that confirmed. And so we kind of decided together that we would do the 23andMe
Yep.
together and support each other.
Yeah.
See if we couldn't find out the truth for who our biological fathers were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that is right. And honestly, I had low expectations, almost no expectations, because I also wanted to find out like really my heritage, the ethnicity, the makeup by percentages. I think it's so cool because as a Black person, um, just fun fact, a lot of Black people aren't like African Americans. Barack Obama is an African American. My friend from church, he's South African, but he moved to the US a few years ago. He's technically an African American, but me, I'm just considered a Black American or an American. And we make up so many different, we're made up of so many different cultures and regions. So I was really excited to see like where I came from, like all of the different things. And I am a mixture of so many different countries. And I wanted to see in all of that, my biological father too is somewhere sprinkled in there. Um, and with 23andMe, what I didn't realize at the time was that person also has to do some sort of 23andMe kit as well, or their
Mhm.
relatives or anybody that's related to them remotely, they would need to do a kit and then you could kind of connect the dots. And so I have very low expectations. One, because of that, like who knows how many people have done this kit from my biological father's side. And also two, my mom at the time was not so she didn't really know who my biological father was. She thought she knew, and then she gave me a name, and then that name didn't check out. Although I have an amazing relationship with that person, I could actually consider him my dad because we bonded so strong. But we took paternity tests, and it wasn't him, and that's okay. But randomly, someone popped up and was like, "Hey, you look just like my uncle." And I think you're related to well, obviously related, but I think this is your dad. So I'm like, it actually happened, like, on TV, like, in the commercials. I could have been that person, like, a success story.
Exactly. Yeah. And since that time, you have actually got to meet your biological father.
Yes, yes, I did. My husband came with me because, you never know these days. I'm a grown woman and all, but still, just because you're my biological father doesn't mean that you're, same. You could have
Mhm.
been a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Who knows? But But he was not. It was actually a really good, really powerful meeting, and we, to this day, are still connected. I have met other, virtually spoken to and met other family members, and so, it's been and it's I've seen him twice now, so it's been really good. Really
That's
good.
wonderful. Yeah, I know our last trip that we took together, you got to spend some time with him during that trip, and I was
Mhm.
super excited for you and glad that you got to do that. And for me, luckily, one of my aunts that I had been in contact with, I still to this day haven't got to meet her in person yet. But she agreed to submit. I paid for the kit and sent it to her, and she agreed to submit DNA
Awesome.
because I knew if I matched her, then that would confirm that that the person I thought was my biological father was in fact my biological father. And so
Okay.
she did that, and it came up a match. It showed that she was my aunt,
Yeah.
which was fantastic because that then gave me the opportunity to reach out to uh, some of my other aunts and
Mhm.
uncles and cousins. And I was able to, a few years ago, travel to meet them in person. And I'm so glad that I did. It was actually on my birthday weekend.
Mhm.
And so that was like one of the most wonderful birthday gifts I could have had was getting to meet them. I got to meet one of my uncles, um, and he's amazing. He's was very close to my biological father, and he was able to give me some of my biological father's belongings. So I have
Amazing.
those now and cherish those. And then I was able to meet one of my aunts and her daughter. And then got to meet one of my other cousins from another aunt, all in that same trip. And we have gotten very close, very, very close. We still keep in touch. And in fact, I've been booking my aunt's trips the last several trips that
Come
she's
on
been
now.
on. So,
See? See? That's what I'm talking about. I know I was a little worried at first when you were traveling and it was just you going to see all these people. I'm like, okay, these are people you have not met. You do not know them. I know you're excited. Please let me know when you make it back safely.
yep.
But I'm glad that you have that relationship now. That's good.
Yes. And I'm hoping that, hopefully in the near future, I'll be able to meet some more of my aunts and cousins because there are a lot of them. And so I would really love to meet each and every one of them. And I've seen pictures of some of my cousins and laughed because my son Kevin looked exactly like a couple of his cousins. They could literally be twins.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, it's amazing.
Wow. DNA does not lie.
Exactly. Yeah. DNA does not lie. So I know you've been on a few cruises now yourself, Kristen.
Yes.
Uh,
Mhm.
I think I talked you into taking your first cruise actually
You
from hearing
did.
about my cruise experience. So tell us a little bit about your experience with like your first cruise or any of the
Yeah.
cruises that you've been on.
So, you did. You made it seem so fun and amazing, which it is. Like my husband and I are cruisers. And the first cruise that we did was on our honeymoon. I believe you had a nice little setup for a honeymoon or wedding gifts for us. It was so special. You walk in, it was through Carnival. I think it was a Carnival Breeze that we went on. I walked in the room in our little cabin. We had a balcony room because my husband and I, unlike Shannon, uh, we are very boring cruise people. We don't do many of the activities. We just like to people watch. And we are heavy people watchers and we create little stories and narratives of our own about everybody on the boat. And so we
I love
needed a
that.
balcony. We needed a balcony room because we were in our room for a good deal, but we like to look out to sea and just kind of relax and do reading or whatever. But yeah, we walked in and it was little decorations in the room and it was special. And she did it again for my birthday, helped my husband set that up too for my birthday because he went on another cruise for my 40th birthday. It was really nice. So, the cruise experience has been really good to us. I really enjoy the all-inclusive feel, aspect of it. Um, we just were able to do excursions, and we've never done an excursion outside of booking it with the cruise line. We're not that adventurous just yet, but, um, maybe we'll try it now. I've listened to your episodes, and I'm like, "Okay, maybe I can get comfortable, like, trying it one time." Like, I think your, most recent episode, like one of them you talked about belief, um, kinda like not liking the port per se, but or being in there, but if you do excursions, it's like a good experience. So maybe we'll like try Belize and do like an excursion. But it's been really good. We've been on like a 4-day or a 5-day one, and then we've been on an 8-day cruise. That one was where we were like, no, that's our limit. I don't think we can do that again. But it's been really good. We've only cruised at the latter part of the year, like in the fall, winter. So I think we're gonna keep doing that if we choose to do it again.
Yeah, that's a good time of the year. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like to cruise that time of year because it's hurricane season.
Mhm,
Um, but I personally don't mind cruising that time of year. You actually get better rates
mhm.
booking during that time of year. And so far, knock on wood, since I have a cruise coming up in October, um, we haven't had any issues with cruising during hurricane season thus
Us
far.
either. We haven't either.
Yeah.
We like going that time of year because we don't have any kids and we prefer to be around as less kids as possible. So we try to book in months or in periods of times where most of the kids are in school. And so it's been really good. And we cruised during, I guess it was the end of 2021 where it was half booked. Like the ship was like half full and it was amazing. And that was our first cruise experience. So we assumed we were naive. We thought that that was gonna be like that for all cruises, where we could just be so free and there's barely anybody out. And that following year, we get on Royal Caribbean, I believe, and we were just shocked at the many people. We were like, "Oh, it's gonna be a lot of people watching this time." So, yeah, no, but it's been really fun. It's been really fun.
So, what's one thing, because I haven't cruised on Royal Caribbean yet. So, what's one difference that you found between Carnival and Royal Caribbean?
To me, it was the types of people. We
Mhm.
we did I think Royal Caribbean was a 7-day or an 8-day, I believe. And I think because it was a longer cruise, there weren't as many families. The crowd was more mature. So definitely, I'll just put it out there. There were a lot of scooters. We saw a lot of older people with the scooters, and they were aggressive. They were a little intimidating. They knew where they were going, and they did not care. They will run you over if they have to. But we saw like a different dynamic in the age range. A lot of people that were like year-long cruisers, and they're just hopping off one boat and they got on another one, and they just doing that for like months at a time. So we thought that Royal Caribbean was a little bit slower pace. Carnival is known for being like the party line or the party cruise line, and I can see the difference. The vibe was just a little bit more slower. Um, One thing that Royal Caribbean has hands down to me are like some of the best shows that we've seen, like Broadway level. They were amazing. We went to a figure skating show on the ship. It was mind blowing. So I really did enjoy that. Um, Carnival does have, in my opinion, better food options because they had so many different types of food. They had burgers and barbecue and pizza and Italian and all that. The ship that we went on, Royal Caribbean, I think was an older ship. The food options weren't as but much of a variety or as diverse, but it was still nice. I mean, it was a beautiful ship. We were told that Royal Caribbean, if you go on the right one, it's definitely next level. So we might check them out again. We don't know.
Yeah. I've heard the same things, and I want to cruise on one of their newer ships um, to just check it out and see what it's about. And I have heard that the shows on Royal Caribbean are off the charts compared to some of the other cruise lines.
Mhm. I'm like, are y'all doing this on a ship? Where are y'all flying in from? Who is dropping y'all out of these holes in the sky? Like, what is happening? Hey, the hazard pay that they're getting. Thinking about all of that. I was like, are y'all getting overtime for this? What is it? So yeah, no, we enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to my upcoming cruise. It'll be the longest one that I've been on. And I know for
Mhm.
you, like the 8 days was like top tier for y'all. That was
Okay.
enough. But for
Yeah.
me, the more days, the better. I really want to try like a 50 something day cruise.
Right. Okay. Think
Yeah.
what happened with our cruise for while we were like at day 5, we were like, there are 3 more days. I don't know. We could do this. It was the itinerary. I think that's also important is to know what kind of itinerary you're getting into. For some reason, the cruise, and maybe it was Carnival, the cruise that we were on, they had all the ports loaded up in the front half of the cruise. And so we did
Mm.
like a day at sea, port. And then it was like 3 days at sea. And so we were like, after the second day at sea, and we still had another full day and then docking, we were looking at each other like, now we've seen the same 50 people in the same line. We get up at the same, because we're early birds. We'll be at breakfast early at 6 a.m., ready to eat. And it's the same 50 people all in our PJs and just like, yep, it's me again. I'm like, yep, same robe. You're just wearing that same robe that you wore day one. Now it's day seven, you know? So it was a lot just to have the same thing for 3 days straight versus if you had like a break in between, and some of the other itineraries we saw afterwards, it had a little bit of space. So I think the itinerary makes a big difference. Just know kind of what to expect before you book. Yeah.
Yeah. The itinerary definitely is very important. And that's one thing that I look at when I'm booking my cruise is I look at the itinerary first.
Mm.
And
I look at the
that's what
price.
I pick. I look at the itinerary. Then from there, it's like, okay, the price and which cruise line has that
Yes.
itinerary, that kind of thing. But yeah, I always look at the itinerary first.
That's why you're
Because
the pro.
I kind of already know ahead of time, like where I'm wanting to go,
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
area I'm wanting to go to. So I then look at the itinerary for that specific area and see, okay, who all has this itinerary, that kind of thing, and then go from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. That's why you're the pro. I mean, because I was like, "Oh, this is cheaper than this," and then I realized that it's cheaper because you're gonna be at sea for 10 days straight. I'm like, "Well, that's it's only so many burgers you can eat." So, but yeah, no. I love to travel, so I was really excited about doing a cruise and with, like, my favorite person, my husband. So, cruising is a different level of traveling. I mean, I've mostly now traveled for work, but now, I'm getting more into cruising and personal travel.
Yeah. And speaking of travel for work, we'll
Mm,
just throw this out there.
do it.
When we had our job working at the same company together, like I flipped out when I first found out that one, you travel for work, like they pay for your airline ticket. You have a car service that comes and picks you up from your house and takes you to and from the airport. You have a company card that you charge all your expenses on. And like all of that was new and foreign to me. I literally thought that was just like rich people that got to do
Yeah.
that. And so when I found out I was getting to do that, like, girl, I thought I was like the queen.
Yeah. Now, my mom, she worked for, the Southwest Airlines for many years, so she traveled the most out of all of us, but she did not travel like that. And like you, I thought I made it. I told my grandmother, I was like, "Granny," they gave me a company card, and she was like, "For what?" Like, "Don't trust it." I was like, "I get to get a car service?" She's like, "Don't trust those people." Like, "Get out of here. I'm gonna take this company car, and I'm gonna keep it." Next level. We had
Yeah,
some good
it,
times
it
though.
it's definitely next level. We definitely had some good times, some crazy times, but we'll
Crazy.
have to talk about that on a different
Yeah,
episode.
that's its own episode.
Yeah,
Lizards, um, other things.
exactly. Yeah,
So many.
for sure. So many things.
Yeah.
Oh, but let's bring it back to some good topics here.
Sure.
I- like let's get into, I mean, we touched on a little bit when we were talking about our sisterhood or whatever,
Mhm.
but let's talk about culture climate, or what I call culture climate.
Okay.
um because like I just don't understand why we can't as people embrace the diversity and the respect for one another.
Sure.
I just don't understand that. Like, why is it so hard?
Mhm, mhm. I think I've asked you this question before, and maybe I haven't, so I'll ask you now. Like, what was the different given your background and your upbringing, like, what was the change, or why was that not ingrained in you to stick to those beliefs about people that look different than you? Because I don't know if it was just about Black people or if it was just anybody that was not white. Um, that your family had different, thoughts and beliefs about, but why did that not stick with you?
Um, it it was predominantly towards Black people,
Okay.
um, but it was overall any person who wasn't white per
Mhm.
se. One of the things that my dad used to say to me, he would always say he wasn't racist, but if you break it all down and you look at
Yeah.
things from the outside looking back in, you
Yeah.
see the racism. One of the things he used to always say is like, I'm not racist, but because every culture has good and bad.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, he would be like, like white people, like there's low class white people as well.
Okay.
And then there's, there's different classes of white people too. And then there's,
Yeah.
like like Hispanic people, there's different levels and
Mhm.
but it's racism. It's just racism and
Yeah.
classism trying to say that, like because somebody maybe doesn't make as much money as you or lives in the same kind of house that you live in, that
Right.
they're less than you.
Right.
Like,
It doesn't make sense.
and I think, yeah, it makes no sense to me, and I don't get that or understand that. Um, and I think where that started to kind of break down for me, and where I kind of started seeing the cracks and the differences and recognizing what it was actually during high school.
Mhm.
Um, some of the friends that I made in high school, per my parents, were below us, beneath us, and I shouldn't be friends with those people.
Okay.
And even though they were white, just like me,
Mhm. Mhm.
they maybe lived in a different area of town that my parents
Okay.
considered, somebody from that area is not a
Yeah.
good person just because they're from that area. Like, what the
Like
heck is that?
classism.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's classic classism, and that irks me so bad because
Yeah.
those friends that I had to this day are still my friends and never once didn't have my back over the
Mm.
years
Mhm. Mhm.
versus people that were, you know, in the right class or whatever that
Right.
are no I'm no longer friends with, don't talk to me, and when I needed them didn't have my back.
Yeah. Well, I just want to applaud you for seeing through um the crap. Like, it doesn't make sense. There are so many holes in those theories, right? With racism. Um,
Mhm.
because there are people, and I think like my grandparents, because of the generation that they grew up in, obviously they had definitely a lot of stereotypes. They believe certain things that were not true based upon what was brought upon them.
Mhm.
Um, I think because unfortunately, I know that like people of color, and I'll just be specific with Black people because that's all I can relate to. We have been kind of forced into a society where we have no choice, kind of like to assimilate and adapt to white people in like ways and cultures, because it's predominantly that environment in the workspace, in church, or in school. Unless you're in a specific town where it's just all Black people, or like I grew up going to like Black churches. Um,
Mhm.
but eventually, I grew up and it was like diverse. I had to go to a school that was diverse. Like, we've been put in those environments. We just had to kind of adapt and assimilate. So we know how to, what we call like, code switch. We know how to make ourselves, I guess, presentable and appropriate for other people to feel comfortable, which is totally something that we should not have to do. And
Mhm.
why I appreciate our sisterhood, because I do not code switch with you. I do code switch in certain environments, not as much anymore, but I know that there are certain people that are just not comfortable with looking at me, and they see me and are threatened or uncomfortable. Um, but with us, it just seems like there was no need. And I knew that from day
Mhm.
one. Mostly because, like, you came in, you were inviting, you were very normal, you did not treat me any differently. You didn't think yourself like higher than me or better than me just because you're white. Or even like age differences. Like some people treat me a lot differently because they think that, because I'm older than you, then you're beneath me. Um, you never did that, which is why I was shocked, Shannon. I was so shocked to know your background and your upbringing because it's completely different from who you are. And I know like in your you shared so far that, you had really loving parents and they were older. That would be me. If I have kids at this point, I feel like it's gonna be a Sarah and Abraham situation. Like who will be like 80 years old at the high school graduation. But we will love those kids so hard and we're mature and wise. So I know you shared that they really poured their love out and just really, taught you, just loved on you. And at the same time, both these can be true. Like they didn't have so many great like theories or beliefs about, people of color, Black people. Um,
Mm,
so I don't know. I think we just have to keep doing things like this. There are a lot of conversations, podcasts, shows where you see people that are diverse share their very candid, real experiences and conversation, so
yeah,
I really appreciate that. Like we can share about what we experienced during George Floyd, the um, Black Lives Matter movement, just things that were uncomfortable for people to normally talk about. We don't feel uncomfortable with each other.
exactly. And that I'm glad you brought it up about George Floyd too, because that literally touched my heart. I broke down and cried so hard when you reached out to me when that happened. I was already like watching it unfold. I was already like feeling the feelings.
Mhm,
And I can't believe this is happening in this day and age. Like, what
mhm,
is going on?
mhm.
And I wanted to reach out to you, but I was unsure. Like, should I? Shouldn't I? Because I wasn't sure, So I'm white. If that
Yeah.
would be okay for me to do that or not. But I didn't have to worry about it because you immediately called me
Mhm,
and was like in tears, like just like I don't know what to do.
mhm.
I just let you pour it out. Like I'm just like share, like tell me everything that you're feeling, what you're going through, and I was right there with you to support you and help you. And I love that you felt like you could reach out to me and that I would support you in that and be behind you 100%. Because
Yeah.
I know at the time, people, even in our workplace at the time, didn't have that same reaction.
Yeah. And transparently, it was one of the reasons why I ultimately left. It's just kind of like over time, you've had enough and you realize, okay, I don't really have the support that is, um, that I thought was there. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's kind of one of the things it wasn't the thing, but yeah, it definitely was a part of it. And just for you to stand up for me and just be there for me, that is what we need on all sides. So not like you took it even a step further. Like, yes, you were there to be there for me, one on one, but you also mentioned that you stood up for me and Black people as a whole when you share with your family, like what's not right to say, like that isn't, that's not true, that's not right. You can't say that, you can't do that. Um, that is what we need. Like as Black people, people of color, we just need advocacy from white people. We can only do so much. And so to have friends and sisters and brothers to, even brother Jeff, like he would have my back. He's had my back. Work travel during the traveling for work. He has had my back. So I know that there is no doubt, like I can call you guys and, y'all are there for me and it's actually genuine. Like you wouldn't, it's not a situation where if push come to shove, we're in a situation where there's a group of people over here and they're looking at you crazy because y'all are standing with me. You wouldn't like shun me away. Um,
Mm-mm.
you would definitely be, on my side. So that's what we just need that. We just need more of that, like outward in your face, in the public, support, you know.
Exactly. And not fake support either.
Mm.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but it really upsets me when I hear white people or any people that try to say, "Oh, I'm not racist. I don't see color." That
Yeah, that
statement
sounds
right
like you've
there,
got glaucoma or
that
something. I don't know.
that statement right there gets me every time, and I'm like, but
Mhm.
basically to me, you're admitting that you're racist by making that statement because like, what are you talking about? You don't see color. Like, come on, unless you're
I
blind, like literally
yeah,
blind.
like colorblind
Yes, or just
or
blind
just
in
straight out
general. You just
blind.
can't see, period. You know,
Then
like
it's acceptable.
color is everywhere.
Yeah.
Like the whole
Yeah.
world is color. Like
Yeah.
and we should embrace that color and that diversity. Like and want to learn and share. That
Yeah.
that's what I want. Like that's why I love our relationship because you've taught me so much that I had no clue about black people. I have learned so much about
Mhm.
your beliefs, your cultures,
My
just
hair.
different things, your hair. Like I had no clue and I've learned all that and I feel like it's made me a better person because I've learned all that.
Yeah,
And
I
that's what we
agree.
all need to do.
100,000,000% agree. I wouldn't necessarily say that people that say they don't speak color are racist. I do think that there was a root, like the intention was good. Like you mean, like you're meaning well, but you really got to be transparent and real. So, like, yes, you see color, you just don't care what color someone is. It just like I don't know how many years ago this started happening, but I was really, I don't know, like when kids started to describe their friends as brown friends, like, oh, my brown friend, because it makes sense. Like, I'm not literally the color black. My hair is black, but I am not,
Mhm.
my skin is brown. And
Yeah.
I started hearing kids be like, oh, yeah, my brown friend, Jesse or Jessica. I'm like, yes, that makes sense because you know why? They see color, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that we just have to be more like you said, you're okay with asking me questions because I'm not defensive. I'm not intimidating. I don't like, shut you down. And I think we have to do a better, I'm saying as Black people, we have to do a better job at like being more like making it safe for people to ask those questions, just inquire, because it's one thing when you're asking because you truly want to seek understanding. It's another
Mhm.
reason when you're asking because you're trying to be manipulative or degrading, and we can tell the
Yeah.
difference. So, we just have to make it a safe space all around. And, you've created a safe space for me, and likewise, so I don't think it's necessarily a racist thing when they say they don't see color. I do think that they need to be corrected, and say like either go to the eye doctor immediately or the ER, urgent care, start there if you don't see color and you used to, or just kind of give them a different perspective and say, yeah, we see color. You got to see color. You just don't care. And if you truly don't care what color I am, yeah, then okay, we could say that.
Exactly. Say you see color and you embrace it. Like
Hmm.
that's how I feel about it. I see all the colors in the world, all the diversity in the world, and I
Hmm.
embrace it and I want to learn
Mhm.
from each and every person who isn't like me. I want to
Yeah,
learn about their beliefs, their culture, it's just like with different religions.
yeah.
Like I consider myself spiritual. I believe in God, God the Father.
Mhm,
Um and I believe in Jesus Christ that he came and saved us. I believe all
mhm.
that, but I don't label myself as a Christian. I label myself as spiritual. Um because I have had the pleasure of getting to learn and go to different churches
Mhm.
from all different beliefs.
Yeah.
And I feel like that there's something that you can take from each one of those beliefs
Mhm, mhm.
and put it all together. And that's how I look at it. I've learned a lot from all the different religions. So I don't just label myself as just Christian only. I consider myself spiritual.
Yeah.
Because, as you know, one of my gifts that I've received from God is discernment and the ability to be able to
Mm,
see people for who they are.
I'll leave it at that. Uh,
I'm not always correct, but I would say
yeah.
90% of the time I'm
Yeah.
pretty spot on.
I would say so. No, I would say so. I have nothing to say on that. No, no, and I love that. Me and this is like our one of our differences, but we still love each other through it is like yes, I'm my family and I we are Christians. We believe
Mhm,
God, the Trinity, all that stuff. So we are like
mhm,
hard in the paint Christians. This also, well, full stop on that. Also, we respect. We are not like throwing, beating your head over the upside your head with the Bible. We respect everyone. That is what we've been taught first and foremost. So love everyone, and it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what you have going on in your life. Because I was a hot mess sometimes I'm still a hot mess, but at one point I was like a real like flaming hot Cheetos mess. Okay. And God just came and restored me. And that's he, the God that I serve is not one that would be like, you only get to like these people. Like it's that's bondage, that stronghold. That is not something that I want to be a part of. So yeah, no, we love everybody, and everybody should just put the religion or spirituality, faith to the side. Like this is another human being. Period.
mhm,
Period. Now, if you like, I know a lot of people may treat like their pet. I used to have a pet too. I love it, love them. Their family, I get it. But like, hey, I need you to like treat me sometimes with the same respect and love that you treat little Jet, the little Timmy dog, little cat, my little cat Dottie. I miss her. But yeah, sometimes they get the steaks and the nice 5-course meals, and I'm over here eating ramen noodles. Like, what is that? So I digress. Sorry, we got a little off the topic there. I don't know how we started talking about ramen noodles and steak, but you get what I'm saying.
I totally get what you're saying.
This is how we talk, guys. Sorry.
Ex- Exactly. So, on a lighter topic here before we wrap things up, because we've been going for almost an hour now. I can't
I
believe it. It doesn't
know.
seem like it.
I know.
Um, One of the things that I was going to ask you is I know we share that we both watch 90 Day Fiance. That's one of our shows that we both watch together.
Hmm.
But do you have any shows like movies, TV that you've watched recently that you would recommend to somebody?
Okay. So I'm a big reality competition type show. So outside of 90 Day Fiance, and any of the Real Housewives saga, I actually stopped watching them. So there's I think it's called Battle Camp. If you're into competition, obstacle course type things, I've just finished watching that. It was really good. It has some of the people from different reality shows compete against each other. Like there's some people from The Circle on there. So it's nice. Shuby, if anybody knows Shuby from The
Mm-hmm.
Circle, he's on there.
Love Shuby.
He's so nice. And I'm actually I'm actually finishing up. I'm a little late to the game, but I'm on the last season of The Handmaid's Tale. Um, it's 10, but it's good. I hear it's a really good book. I have not read the book, so I'm watching that currently. Oh, me and my husband have just finished watching Forever. It's a high school sweetheart love drama. These two kids, they fall in love, and it's the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of young love. That is so dramatic. We were there. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
really good one. It's a really cute. It's a Judy Blume. It's based off of one of her books. Her book's called Forever. So yeah,
Okay. And what channel is that, or where do we find that one?
Forever is on Netflix
Netflix? Okay. I'm going to have to find that
or
because,
Peacock.
okay.
No, sorry, just check Netflix.
All right. Cool. Well, for me, other than 90 Day Fiance, um, I have a few that I have watched that I would definitely recommend.
Okay.
Solomon's Crossing on Netflix, if you haven't saw
Okay.
that yet.
Okay. What is
There's
that?
3 seasons. Uh, it's very, very good.
Okay.
Drama,
Okay.
drama type. Uh, it, did you watch Virgin River?
No, but my husband loves it.
It's along the same lines as Virgin
Okay.
River.
So it's
So if you like,
wholesome.
yeah, it's very
Okay.
wholesome, good drama. Got a nice little love story woven in,
Okay.
that kind of thing. Sirens on Netflix is the other
I have
one.
seen the little preview.
It was so good. Really, really
Okay.
good.
It looked good.
Yeah, it was really good. Um, and then We Were Liars on Amazon Prime.
Oh, no, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, that one is a really good one. It
Okay.
has a massive twist to it that like blew my mind. I did not see coming and blew my mind.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I
And
got those
then
on my list.
yeah. The other one is Motorheads on
Mm,
Prime. Do you like
okay.
car racing?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
if like
the
is it like what is that Fast and Furious?
y- yeah, similar along those lines, Fast and Furious. But it's more of a teen love story, and they
Okay.
race cars. So like
Okay.
the car racing isn't the primary thing the love story
Okay.
actually is, but there's also a mystery woven into it.
Oh,
Uh
okay.
yeah. And then as far as like game shows or whatever, Kevin and I watch 2 game shows together every week, and
Okay.
that is Quiz with Balls
Mm-mm. I never heard
and
that.
oh, it's so hilarious. And
Mhm.
then the other one that we watch is the 1% Club.
I literally just saw that before I got prepped for tonight. I saw it on my thing and I don't even know what the heck. The 1% Club.
Yeah, the
Clearly, I don't know
1%
nothing
Club.
about that. I just read like the
It's
first sentence and I was like, don't know nothing about
yeah,
1% life.
it's really good. We
Oh,
really
okay.
enjoy it. It's like different. Like it's questions that are geared toward the different ways that your brain works. So like some of them are like
Oh,
picture type questions, some of them are like mathematical, and then yeah, it's
oh,
just
it's not
so it
about the
makes a
rich
very
people, like the 1%.
the
Oh,
1% part comes in because only 1% of people can answer that question.
okay. So I thought this was like questions geared toward things that only the
Rich
one
people.
percenters know.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
clearly, I don't know any of that. What region did this caviar come from? Like, nope.
Yeah, no. No, so the questions start out at like the 90% question, meaning
Oh,
90% of people get it right.
okay.
And then it goes down from there down to the 1% where only 1% of people will actually ever get that question right.
Okay, I'm adding that. I'm adding that as soon as we
So
go. I'm adding it.
so yeah, me and Kevin really love that one. It's very challenging and definitely lets you see like how your brain works, what strengths and weaknesses your brain has when it comes to
Love it.
different types of questions.
You got me. Thank you for the clarification.
No, it's not about rich people.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, so before we close out, Kristen, is there anything else that you'd like to share today, or maybe close us with a prayer or a song or
Yeah, before like my battery died, clearly my laptop is like freaking out here. um, I just want to thank you so much, Shannon, for being a light and opening up this platform and just sharing your story, sharing your journey. And just to close out, like I just speak a blessing over you and your family and this whole process. It's not easy. I know it's a lot of work. It's why I probably haven't started it myself. So I'm glad you did not wait on me. But I just know that there's so much good that's coming out of this, and I hope that the world gets to hear more and more of your voice and see your beautiful face, and just to share so much of your travel journey and just about you. So you're like the real deal, and I love you, and thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much. I want to give a special thank you to you, Kristen, for joining me today and look forward to having you back again, hopefully, because we still have plenty more that we can talk about.
Of
And
course,
as
we got to
usual,
talk
my
about
hope,
that blizzard.
exactly. And as usual, my hope is for everyone to make memories for life through travel. So reach out and let me help you make your next travel memory. Tune in again to learn some more about me, hear more about each of my trips, and meet other people in my life as they share their travel experiences. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share, and leave a comment below to let us know your thoughts about this episode, what you want to hear more of, or tell me your travel story. I might just read it on the podcast or invite you on as a guest. Until next time, bye everyone.